This Boston bombing was a homegrown terror attack. But is the chaos building in Yemen an even bigger threat to us here? Defense Secretary Ashton Carter just saying Al-Qaeda is making gains on the ground over there, and that the terrorism threat to the West, including the United States, is a long-standing and serious one. To Amber Smith, who says the situation in Yemen is spiraling completely out of control. Amber, you know, I agree with you, and it's interesting that they've taken down the two largest cities, or at least they're heavily engaged in them, and we don't get much press on this. But I don't know why. Help us connect the dots to why Yemen going down could be dangerous for Americans and terrorism here.
Well, we're going to see AQAP, Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, continue to use the instability and the chaos that we're seeing inside Yemen to further their safe haven and continue to be a terrorist breeding ground. When we, as in the U.S., is not putting AQAP on the defensive, they are going to be able to continue to plan and develop and train and execute some of these terrorist operations. They are basically committed to attacking U.S. targets and the West in any way possible.
So what do you make of it that it's Saudi Arabia that's trying to do the counterfighting there? They've got a 10-nation coalition. I know it's mostly Sunni nations. This is sort of sectarian, but so did the United States step up its role in Yemen even more and try to squash this while they can before it gets totally out of control?
Well, we face an extreme disadvantage now that we do not have any U.S. troops inside Yemen, just as we saw when you don't have that face-to-face interaction with the troops that you're training, with the people who are conducting these raids against Al-Qaeda and sort of keeping them on the run inside the country. That's very difficult. Just as we saw a few weeks ago, the last Special Operations Forces evacuated the country because of the violence. And so now you do have the Saudi Arabia coalition in Yemen as well, but they are fighting on the same side of Al-Qaeda. So it's a very blurry line.
Well, and of course, we could see the situation not unlike Syria, where ISIS has a safe haven. You know, they can fight. We can fight them in Iraq, but as soon as they cross over the border of Syria, it looks like we give up, and they have immunity. They go there and they heal up and they replan and they come back out and attack. I mean, could Yemen become that kind of a launching pad?
Well, absolutely. Yemen has been a problem for terrorist activity for years, and it has essentially become the new Syria that we've seen since the Civil War began. There's fighting in the streets, there's tanks in the streets, there's no electricity, no fuel, no water, very few medical aid and supplies going on, and so this really is a very complex situation, and Al-Qaeda is using it. They're exploiting that instability to their advantage to continue operations and to continue to further their agenda.
That's crazy. All right, so another mess. Amber Smith, thank you very much.
Thank you.